Greetings, this is Luke Smith with ruralvacantland.com, where we have easy, cheap land. Today I'd like to show you a property that's it's featured $1,568 for 4.85 acres. It's almost 5 acres. Almost 5 acres for just over $1,500. This 5 acres is in Cochise County, Arizona. That's the southeasternmost county in Arizona. And if we zoom out, I'll show you where we're at here first. This is me in San Diego. Here's Phoenix, here's Albuquerque, Las Cruces, Tucson. So it's between Tucson, Las Cruces, and just south of there. So if you zoom in, there's Douglas, Arizona. Douglas has Walmarts and shopping centers and supplies, groceries, and all kinds of stuff. McNeil has elementary school, post office, the basics. 191 is just over here is airport. This main road over your north central highway, there's some little roads that come over towards this property. I thought it might be interesting to zoom in on the property first, maybe go to satellite view. There's roads that run through this area, and just up the way there's houses, there's ponds, there's different holding ponds. People dig ponds in this area, so I take it the water table is pretty low. The property is just straight over from this pond, or almost. There's some little roads in between, but I was just zooming in here, and you can get street view. There's power lines run down the main road near here. I thought maybe I could show you this pond, but it doesn't look like you can look in there per se. Maybe they got electricity running over to a pump or something. It looks like people in the area are digging ponds and pumping water out of them to water the fields or cattle or whatever's living out there, move water around. This gives you a picture of the countryside, and if you looked off in the distance, the property would be over there. Here's the property. Kind of looks like there's some phone line or some telephone lines, power lines running through this area. If you look close, these black lines look like they're spaced like power lines going right across the property. So I think there might be power lines. I don't know if they're charged or usable, but they seem to be headed over here to the substation. And I was looking at this earlier, and there's lots of power lines that come into the area. I was just looking around, and that's a substation. There's electricity in this area. McNeil substation next to the canning factory. There's houses, and people have trees, and they put up dog fence, and they got gates and stuff. Putting their mailboxes out on the street. And there's power lines run off in the distance in all kinds of directions from here. I think one of them, if you followed it, runs right over the property. So I think that looks pretty neat. What else I want to show you? Maybe if we go back to the actual property, it's just near here. There's little streets. There's not a maintained street just to the north of here. I was pulling it up in some other software, which didn't keep up with me. But if we do, I'll just put the APN into this other software and show you the streets. This must have reloaded. Bear with me a sec. So this thing, there's the property. Now, if it included this street, it would be 5 acres. I think that's why it's 4.85, because it lost a little bit of ground to the street. So there's a legal street here, and this goes out to, the tracks that cut through the area. I think this one is more of the one that's on Google Maps. It runs through a couple different properties. But if we change over roads, you can see the roads running through here, legal streets that run through the area. I think that power line runs right along this trail, and the property's right there, so you're really close to tying into the power line on this one. And it looks like shallow water because of these, there's lots of ponds all over the area. People have dug ponds. Looking at the market on this property, I went to landwatch.com, and I put in here 4.5 acres and up, Cochise County, and I sorted it price low to high. And my properties come up all over the place. Looks like one guy's got one in there pretty cheap, but pretty much mine are just all over the place. 4 acres, 1565. This guy's offering 10 acres at $14.95. Should probably look at his offers. That sounds hard to believe, but I've got a lot of them all over the place. $1,500 or so properties. That one's got power line. Looks like shallow water. Say take a look at it. It's on my website, ruralvacantland.com. If you go to the listings part of the website, right now it's featured. It's featured property of the week. But if you look for $1,568 for 4.85 acres, you can get that one. If you want to buy it, you just go to click here to buy now, put in your information, and check out. It's yours. I'll do all the paperwork. I'll get it recorded, pay the fees, make sure the taxes are paid up, get you a recorded deed in short order. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. This is Luke Smith from ruralvacantland.com.